You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. I just woke up, looked at my phone, okay? Ended up seeing a whole bunch of comments saying Yellow's reign is over. Yellow is dead with the new leader just introduced in BlackBeard. So I think it's time for us to actually make a video with these new spoilers and just talking about how these cards can affect Yellow decks or just decks in general. So the first leader we're going to be going over is PRB01. If you guys don't know what set this is coming from, this is coming from a set that's in between OP08 and OP09, kind of like how EB01 was in between OP05 and OP06 and OP07. So this is the midline set. Sanji leader. As you guys see, it's red, 5 life, 5 power. Activate main once per turn up to one of your cost 8 or lower characters without a on-play effect gains rush until the end of this turn. Honestly, this seems like this might be one of the best red decks going into OP09. It's just my opinion. Once RP Law ends up getting hit, because if the leader's not banned, something will get hit, guaranteed fact. This leader will probably be the go-to red, just for the simple fact that if BlackBeard is really running rampant in the meta in OP09, this pretty much just literally just voids out, no pun intended, everything the leader does in BlackBeard. So my opinion on Sanji, this is probably going to be the best red deck. The only good red deck that we have besides RP Law is Whitebeard, and besides that, we really don't have too many good red decks out here at the moment. And like I said earlier, if RP Law does end up getting put in a pack, which it should be, this will be the premier leader going into OP09. So let's go ahead and get straight to the next card. Next leader we're going to be talking about is Lim. It's a green purple leader. The only green purple leader that we do have right now is Dofi's, and he's really not that. He's not really in the meta like that. 4 life, 5,000 power. Your characters interplay as rested. Okay, so that's definitely different. I don't know how I feel about that. Activate main once per turn. You may rest 3 of your Dons, set up to 1 Don from your Don deck as rested, then play a cost 5 or lower Odyssey type character from your hand. So this kind of reminds me of a makeshift version of Dofi, how to where, you know, he can cheat out 5 costs or lowers, so, or 4 costs. This is 5 costs. I feel like this is a, you know, simpler way for green or purple. My opinion, green or purple, I don't feel like it's really a good combo to just keep it a stack with you guys. I feel like it's not really that competitive, but if it's something up your alley, you can go ahead and tap into that deck. The main deck we're going to be focusing on in this video is going to be this motherfucker right here. Marshall D. Teach. Okay, if you guys do not know, there's a couple favorite characters I do like in the game, just in the anime in general. That'll be a Nail, Katakuri. I do like BlackBeard. I do like Kaido, and I do like Dofi. Those are probably my top 5 characters in the whole entire game. So, you know, one of my favorite characters is getting printed, but, you know, I gotta save the YGOD. You guys already know how we get down, man. Yellow gang will die, you know, Delinquent stand up. Let's go ahead and get talk about Marshall D. Teach, man. OP09, 5 life, 5,000 power, 4 Emperors, BlackBeard Pirates. Okay, so very first BlackBeard Pirates card. I love the art. I mean, it looks just like I'm watching the anime, and its ability is what really just breaks everything wide open, just busts it wide open, no diddy. Your on-play abilities do not activate. Activate main, you may trash 1 card from your hand until the end of your opponent's next turn. Your opponent's on-play abilities do not activate. I just have to keep it a stack with y'all, like as a yellow player or just a player just in general right now. This is the first time we've ever seen a card like this. This card reminds me of Skill Drain. If you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh, pretty much Skill Drain. If you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, it literally turns off all your abilities. So on One Piece, Skill Drain will work as if like how BlackBeard is. You know, if he uses his ability, everything gets turned off. Your on-play abilities, which I would probably say 80 to 90% of all of One Piece cards have on-play abilities. Everything's almost turned off. Anti-meta strategy for sure. And how does this affect mainly yellow? Okay, because we already have a hard matchup into black. With this leader coming out, this just puts it on a whole different level. I feel like this actually might just be an auto lose for yellow decks. Just to keep it a stack. Like any type of life manipulation or anything like that, you guys are probably saying why is it almost like an auto loss? I mean, this is YGOD over here, gang. So like, what are you talking about? We don't ever lose. Well, for this, I just have to keep it a stack of you. The way we gain life is all through on-play abilities. Okay, the only times that we really don't, you know, gain a life back through on-play abilities is like Kikinojo. I'm sorry, Kikinojo, where if he dies on KO, we get a life back. But besides that particular card, Yamato, okay, once summoned on play, we get a life back. Katakuri on play, we could put, you know, a life back into our life or their life. Ace, when it's summoned, you put a life back. The only cards that really bypass this is, like I said earlier, is, you know, like Shirahoshi, where if it's on KO, get a life back, or Kiku. This might not be a good time for yellow players. I just have to keep it a stack of few. I'm still gonna play yellow, but just looking at this ability, a lot of people were saying, you know, what happens if you trash one card from your hand? I mean, you're gonna end up using cards out of your hand. True, but honestly, I don't feel like the only way this deck is really gonna use, you're not gonna be using this ability like in the first couple of turns. Like if you're on turn 6, right, and you're going into turn 8 and you're going against a yellow or even a black deck, before you go, let them go into turn 8 or 7 or 8 or 9, you just use the effect. And now if they try to drop a Gecko, it's pretty much voided. Now if you try to drop a Katakuri, it's pretty much voided. If I try to drop a Yamato, it's pretty much voided. Like everything is voided. Okay, no pun intended. And I don't know. This might be one of the most broken leaders in the game's ever seen. I know a lot of people are excited about it. BlackBeard, you know, leader, very first of its kind, but just looking at this type of card in its card design, I'll give this card probably 2 or 3 weeks until people start raging for a ban, especially underneath a skilled pilot, Like I said earlier, the main game plan of this deck is once you get to the, you know, high end turns, you just use this once per turn, change turns, and you pretty much turn off everything. They can't do anything, so they're just putting out vanillas, and your deck is built around not having any on-play abilities. You know, maybe time will tell, but just looking at this and seeing what skill drain actually does, that is considered a floodgate. I don't think One Piece has ever seen a floodgate type of card. Floodgate type of card is a card that's so overbearing it just automatically just wins you the game. This might be a floodgate leader. Okay, I don't think One Piece has ever seen anything like this, but with this type of card and card design, I'll give it like 2 or 3 weeks, and then once it voids out everybody's deck, everybody's gonna be asking for a ban, because you just use it on the high end. You probably never use this effect on the low end. You always use it on the high end. So only time would tell, but just looking at this almost completely, you know, turns off yellow unless you're playing Shirahoshi or Kiku. So very, very broken card. Everybody was asking me my thoughts on it. As a yellow player, I feel like we just have a long road ahead of us, man. I just have to see how the OCG is really going to play this. But as a whole, not even just a yellow player, but for every deck, 90% of the decks in the current meta has on-play abilities. I don't even think it's just yellow. I just think it's every deck is going to get affected by this. This might be the most broken leader One Piece has ever seen. Just my opinion, my thoughts, my first impressions. And yeah, let me know below what you guys think of this BlackBeard Marshall D Teach card, because this shit is actually broken in my opinion, man. But yeah, that's all I got. But look, before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm gone.